Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap the college basketball, NBA, and NHL games from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. We'll go over the tee times and I'll make a pick for the Players' Championship in golf. And we'll preview and predict the season premiere of The Masked Singer as I'll make some season predictions. But we have to start with news and notes today, because two major things happened in the NFL. Scratch my prediction segment from yesterday. The Denver Broncos traded for a quarterback, but it wasn't the quarterback I predicted. They acquire Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks, along with a 4th-round pick, and Seattle got a nice haul back. They got Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, a 2022 and 2023 first-round pick, 2022 and 2023 second-round pick, and a 2023 fifth-round pick, I believe was the last piece in the deal. Yes, that's a lot, but the reality is that Denver finally has a competent quarterback for the first time since Peyton Manning. And Denver's been sorting out this quarterback for a long time, been 6 years, but they finally land the guy they passed up on in 2012 and the guy that beat Peyton Manning and the Broncos in the first of the two Peyton Manning Super Bowls in Russell Wilson. So there's some irony here with Wilson landing in Denver. Wilson, the last year and a half or so, really hasn't been the Russell Wilson that we known and loved his first 5 years of his career. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't at the same level as Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen even, for that matter, and even Tom Brady. He kind of took a step back in a weird way. But Russ is just a great player. I know the offensive line in Denver isn't great, just like the offensive line in Seattle wasn't great. But he made that offensive line in Seattle look good at times. And he has some better weapons around him in Denver than he did in Seattle. Although wide receivers Lockett and Metcalf versus Sutton, Hamler, and Jerry Jeudy, and Tim Patrick. So you could argue that Denver is more depth. Denver's certainly better defensively than Seattle. Better defensively than offensively, too, depending on some things that they have to do this offseason. But I think it's a great deal for Denver. I think they are now a playoff team in the AFC. The AFC West instantly becomes the best division. And this brings up, to me, one of the big takeaways here is that the Raiders, who made the playoffs a year ago, is now the worst team in the division. But the question is now, if you're the Raiders, do you move on from Derek Carr? Because you know in your heart of hearts that you're not passing the Chiefs, you're probably not passing the Chargers, and now you're probably not passing Denver with Russell Wilson. So, it's going to be interesting to see what the ramifications from this are within the AFC West, especially with the Raiders. But on the flip side with Seattle, I don't mind their haul. They got a bunch of draft picks, including 2 first-round picks. Drew Lock, I don't think is their quarterback of the future, but they're probably going to give him a look. Noah Fant goes into that offense now with Lockett and Metcalf, unless they try to move Metcalf and Lockett. You never know. I thought that Green Bay could have potentially been the blow-it-up team, but looks like it's going to be Seattle. And I'll get to something that Seattle did in a moment. But this means Seattle's going full-blown rebuild. They're easily the worst team in the NFC West, arguably the worst team in the entire NFC now without Russell Wilson. So That's where Seattle's going. Tank, tank, tank. And now they have the 9th pick in the draft. And you would think that that pick could be a quarterback. Like a Malik Lewis or Sam Howell or Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett. They have some options there. And the other big NFL story that happened yesterday, and I don't think it's a coincidence that this trade was announced hours after the one and only Aaron Rodgers decides to stay in Green Bay, because you knew that Denver wanted Aaron Rodgers so bad. As soon as they found out he was staying in Green Bay, they called Seattle, offered the same package for Russell Wilson. Seattle ultimately got it done. Green Bay re-signs Rodgers. Had to do it. 4 years, $200 million. He was the best quarterback in football the last 2 seasons. 2-time reigning MVP. They're still the team to beat in the NFC North. They franchise tagged Devontae Adams now that Rodgers is back. So, good on Green Bay for getting all this done. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Rodgers gets a 3rd MVP. And the other ramification of this is I think this, along with the Patrick Mahomes contract, pretty much reset the quarterback market in terms of pay. So we'll see what else Green Bay gets on the offseason. And now they're under some pressure to make some moves. The funny thing here is that Jerry Jeudy tweeted out an emoji to tell that he was not in a good mood after Rodgers decided to stay with the Packers. He thought Denver was getting Rodgers. But then Jeudy sent out another tweet after the Wilson deal happened. So it's obvious that the Bronco players wanted a new quarterback, a new competent quarterback. Russell Wilson's a star, but not a superstar. Aaron Rodgers is a superstar. That's the difference between the two. And so yesterday, lo and behold, great days for Denver and Green Bay. Not a great day if you're a Seahawks fan, but at least you got 2 first-round picks out of it. And then the Seahawks cut Bobby Wagner. It was a surprise cut. I think that they're going to blow up their team similar to what the Texans did over the last few years. And now it's going to be interesting to see who picks up Bobby Wagner. Tampa Bay franchise tagged Chris Godwin for a 2nd straight year. That's not surprising. Among the names didn't get tagged, J.C. Jackson and Chandler Jones. Those 2 guys I did not predict that would get tagged. I had Chandler Jones to Miami and J.C. Jackson to Tennessee. We'll see if any of those play out. And then the Commanders offered 3 first-round picks for Wilson, but ultimately they took the Denver offer because I think Denver included more that they would have liked. The Cowboys placed a tag on Dalton Schultz. Surprised some people. Chargers re-signed Mike Williams, $3 years, $60 million, $28 million guaranteed in year 1. So that's a decent re-signing for the Chargers, who have a ton of cap room. So we'll see what else they can do. Kyler brings back Instagram posts after he archived his Cardinals photos. So that's a good sign for the Cards. Titans extend Harold Landry to a 5-year, $87.5 million extension. So that's good on Tennessee for locking up Landry. And the Washington professional football team is eyeing Jameis Winston as the Commanders have taken a long look at the free agent and continue to have them interest in signing him. Non-football. Actually, one more football. There's rumors that Mitch Trubisky could end up going to the Giants and competing with Daniel Jones for the starting job. We'll see about that. That would be very interesting, and obviously the ties with the Bills last year, because he backed up Josh Allen a year ago. Jared McCann gets extended 5 years, $25 million from the Kraken. Golden State will work out with Tyreek Evans. That's very interesting. We'll see if anybody picks him up. Ben Simmons to file grievance against the 76ers in coming days. Kevin Durant trolls a bettor as he lets somebody know that he doesn't care about parlays. Stephen Curry breaks the Golden State Warriors all-time steals leader with 1,361 and counting. So that's interesting. There was a fight that halted the NEC championship game between Wagner and Bryant because Wagner players were getting into it with fans. Georgia and Tom Crean depart ways. All indications are that Georgia's Tom Crean won't return after 6-25 year, worse in school history. Brittany Griner photo released after her February arrest for allegedly having cannabis oil in luggage. Yikes. 3 Oklahoma City Thunder players had season-ending surgeries. Lou Dort with his shoulder, Ty Jerome with his hernia, and Mike Muscala with his ankle. You know the Thunder are tanking. Major League Baseball announces a $1 million lockout fund of its own fund to support spring training workers affected by missed exhibition games. Apple announces MLB deal as its first ever live sports rights deal for Friday Night Baseball doubleheader exclusively on Apple TV. So that's pretty cool. Jaromir Jagr's game for Ukraine as he hosted a charity hockey game to raise money for Ukrainian refugees. So that's pretty neat. And then Phil Kessel leaves game for the birth of his child after the first intermission. So congrats to Phil Kessel and his family. All right, so that's news and notes for today. Now I'm going to preview and predict Season 7 of The Masked Singer. I think it's going to be a great year. There's 3 teams. There's the cuddly, the good, and the bad. There's a Snooper sneak peek show on the 20th of February a few weeks ago. They revealed a few characters from each group. And there's certainly more that they haven't showed in the preview show. Team Good, McAteer, and they gave out a clue. And it was a guitar with the Ukrainian flag. Prince. And its clue was 30 blue and white varsity jacket. So, a varsity jacket that was blue and white with the number 30 on it. Firefly. Its clue was a crown with church windows in the background. And Team Good is 2 extra members. And then we had an exclusive world premiere. This was Space Bunny of Team Cuddly performing Jumpin' the Line by Harry Belafonte, which was fun. And we'll just go to Team Cuddly. His first clue was a picture of the state of North Carolina, like the outline of North Carolina, its shape in an American flag. Baby mammoth, its giveaway clue was red slippers. Thingamabob, the clue is a picture of someone, and then he says, enjoy the ride and don't run out of gas. And then Lemoore, its first clue was a circled mirror. And then Team Bad, and by the way, Team Cuddly is one more member. We'll find out eventually who it is. And in Team Bad, there's Cyclops. Its first clue is a pirate map. Queen Cobra, its first clue is a superhero photo. And Ram, its first clue is a helmet with a gold 6. And there's one more member of Team Bad. And here are my predictions in terms of who may be contestants on the show. I put 20 people on the list. We'll see how I do. And I made this list a while ago. Lauren Beach, TikTok personality. Candace Cameron Bru, actress. I think I actually picked her for Masked Dancer, but it didn't work out. Harry Wayne Casey, of Casey and the Sunshine Band. Ted Cruz, politician. Nelly Furtado, singer. She sang Promiscuous, Turn Off the Light, Say It Right, Man Eater. Robert Griffin III, former NFL star quarterback. Well, he's still in the league, essentially, but I should say current NFL backup quarterback. Cornell Haynes Jr., a.k.a. Nelly the Rapper. Hot in Here, among his hit songs. Alan Jackson, country singer, sings Good Time, It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere. Clayton Kershaw, Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher. Jimmy Kimmel, talk show host. Fun to see Jimmy Kimmel on there. Carly Lloyd, soccer player from U.S. Women's National Team. Alanis Morissette, 90s singer. And she was a panelist on the show that was on in the fall. Alter Ego. Megan Park, actress and director. She directed the movie Fallout, I believe it was called, with Jenna Ortega and Maddie Ziegler. The Fallout. And she played Grace in The Secret Life of the American Teenager. If anybody from Secret Life was on The Masked Singer, I know everybody would be rooting for Shailene Woodley, who obviously dates Aaron Rodgers, so that'd be kind of fun. And plus, she was the protagonist of the show. Nicholas Patrico, Walk the Moon. Walk the Moon was a band, or is a band. They were big in the mid-2010s. Shut Up and Dance With Me was among their hits. Diane Sawyer, news anchor. Where's Diane Sawyer been? Donna Summer, 70s singer. Hot Stuff, Last Dance. Hero Phineas Tiffin, actor. He plays Hardin in the movie After. And it became a series on Netflix after they fell, and there's a couple of those movies. After We Collided, After We Fell, and After Ever Happy. I think that Harold will be really good on The Masked Singer. Scott Wagner. The reason why I put Scott Wagner on here, obviously, he's known to play Steve on Full House and Fuller House. And I also put Candace Cameron Bru there. Maybe there's a double. And it's funny that we haven't seen a double this season in like the previews and whatnot. But I'm just throwing it out there. Mae Whitman, actress. She is the protagonist in the movie The Duff. She plays Bianca. And what's skeptical about this pick is that we already saw Bella Thorne, who's also in The Duff. She's the antagonist, Madison, in The Duff. And I just want to throw Mae Whitman in there because they always pick somebody for Ken Jeong every season, and obviously Ken's in The Duff too. So why not go with the protagonist, Mae Whitman? Whitman. And the last pick, Gretchen Wilson, country singer. Remember Gretchen Wilson, redneck woman, here for the party? Where's she been? She might be this season's version of Natasha Bedingfield, where I absolutely nailed this one. I'd love to see Gretchen on The Masked Singer, but I feel like her voice would be pretty distinct if she were to be on there. So we'll see what happens. We'll obviously go over the episode on tomorrow's podcast. All right, to sports. College basketball. We'll recap the games from last night and look ahead to a busy day today in college hoops. BC over Pitt, 66-46. ACC first round. ACC first round. Clemson over NC State, 70-64. Rider over Manhattan, 79-67. Bellarmine over Jacksonville, ASUN final, 77-72. As Jacksonville State gets the auto bid. NEC final, Bryant over Wagner, 70-43. CAA final, Delaware over UNC Wilmington, 59-55. Horizon League final, Wright State over Northern Kentucky, 72-71. ACC first round, Louisville over Georgia Tech, 84-74. Metro Atlantic first round, Fairfield over Kenesha, 72-50. CUSA first round, Marshall over FIU, 74-62. CUSA first round, Southern Miss over UTSA, 67-64. West Coast final, number 1 Gonzaga over number 17 St. Mary's, 82-69. Gonzaga's a lock for the number 1 overall seed now. Big West first round, Bakersfield over Northridge, 58-45. WAC first round, Cal Baptist over Texas Rio Grande, 81-80. Summit League final, South Dakota State over North Dakota State, 75-69. Metro Atlantic first round, Quinnipiac over Marist, 77-52. Big West first round, UC Davis over Cal Poly, 63-53. And WAC first round, Utah Valley over Chicago State, 69-47. Now we look ahead to the games being played today. So you got 11:30 a.m. Big Sky first round. Idaho, Sacramento State. My projection is Sac State by 2 7/8, total of 145. And it is Sac State as a 2-point favorite, total 137.5. Over. 12 o'clock, ESPN, Syracuse at Florida State. Second round ACC tournament. My projection is FSU by 3 3/8, total of 147.25, and it's 1.5 and 146. Slight Florida State. St. Joe's, LaSalle, Atlantic 10 first round, 1 o'clock. My projection is St. Joe's by 2 and 5/8, total of 138 and 85 hundredths. And it's 2.5 and 134.5. Over. New Mexico and Nevada, Mountain West first round, 2 o'clock. My projection is Nevada by 5 1/4, total 148 and 1/10. And it's 5 and 151.5. Under. Idaho State, Portland State, Big Sky first round. My projection is Portland State by 3 1/8, total 140 and 3/10. And it's 4.5 and 134.5. Over. Boston College, Wake at 2:30 on ESPN, ACC second round. My projection is Wake by 9 1/4, total 141 and 7/10. And it's 9.5 and 142.5. Very close numbers. I'm going to say slight under. Stanford, Arizona State, 3 o'clock, Pac-12 Network. Pac-12 first round. My projection is Zona State by 1 1/8, total 133 and 1/10. And it's 4 and 128. Over. SWAC first round. Jackson State and Texas Southern. Or I should say SWAC quarterfinal. My projection is Texas Southern by 5 3/4, so 131 to 2 fifths. And it's 4 and 126.5. Over. A-10 first round, 3:30, Duquesne, Rhode Island. My projection is Rhode Island by 9, total 134 and 95 hundredths. And it's 9 and 131.5. Over. Air Force, Utah State, Mountain West first round, 4:30 on USA Network. Oh, never mind. It's not on USA Network. I misread that. Oops. My projection is Utah State by 8 5/8, total 132 and 55 hundredths. And it's 14 and 126. Oof. I'm going to say I'm going to take Air Force getting the points. Fox Sports 1, Big East first round, Butler, Xavier. My projection is Xavier by 6 3/8, total 135 and 95 hundredths. And it's 6.5 and 131.5. Over. Big Sky first round, Northern Arizona and Eastern Washington. My projection is Eastern Washington by 7.5, total 145 1/4. And it's 7.5 and 140.5. Over. 5:30 Pac-12 Network, Pac-12 first round, Oregon State, Oregon. My projection is Oregon by 12 3/4, so 143 and 9/10. And it's 9.5 and 144. I'm going to lay the points with Oregon. Ole Miss, Missouri, 6 o'clock SEC Network, SEC first round. My projection is Ole Miss 3.5, total 136 and 1/10. And it's 3.5 and 130.5. Over. Southland first round, Incarnate Word, Houston Baptist. My projection is Baptist by 2 5/8, total of 147.5. And it's 4.5 and 140.5. Over. MEAC quarterfinal, Delaware State, Norfolk State. My projection is Norfolk by 23 1/4, total 137 and 85 hundredths. And it's 15.5 and 135.5. I'm laying the points. Big Ten first round, Big Ten Network, Nebraska Northwestern. My projection is Northwestern by 3 1/4, total 146 and 85 hundredths. And it's 5 and 144.5. Over. 6:30 CUSA second round, Rice Charlotte. My projection is Charlotte by 2, total 145 and 1/10. And it's 2.5 and 140.5. Over. Marshall, Louisiana Tech at 7 o'clock, CUSA second round. My projection is Louisiana Tech by 9, total 147 95 hundredths. And we got For some reason I can't find this one. Marshall, Louisiana Tech. It is 9 and 150.5. Under. San Jose State, Fresno State, Mountain West first round. My projection is Fresno 11, total 129 and 55 hundredths. And it's 13.5 and 121. Over. Big 12 first round, ESPNU, West Virginia, Kansas State. My projection is West Virginia by 4 1/8, total 136 and 7/10. And it's K-State by 1, total 138.5. I'm taking West Virginia in the 1 and minus 105 to win outright. AEC semifinal, Hartford, UMBC. My projection is UMBC by 8 3/8, total 144 and 3/5. And it's 3.5 and 145.5. I'm going to lay the points with UMBC. Binghamton, Vermont, AEC semifinal. My projection is Vermont by 19 1/8, total 136 and 35 hundredths. And it's 21.5 and 135.5. I'm taking Binghamton in the points. ESPN2, ACC second round, Clemson, Virginia Tech. My projection is Virginia Tech by 4 3/8, total 135 and 7/20. And it's 4 and 131.5. Over. MAC quarterfinal. Metro Atlanta quarterfinal. Ryder Iona. My projections: Iona 12, total 140 and a fifth. And it's 9.5. And we don't have a total yet. I'm still going to lay the points with the Gales. Fox Sports 1 Big East first round. DePaul St. John's from the Garden. My projection is St. John's by 8 and a quarter, total 149.5. And it's 5 and 155. Under. Patriot League final on CBS Sports Network at 7:30. Navy Colgate. My projections: Colgate by 4, total 134 and 1/20. And we got 6.5 and 127.5. Over. Georgia Vanderbilt, 8 o'clock SEC Network, SEC first round. My projection is Vandy by 8 and an eighth, total 142 and 85 hundredths. And it's 9 and 144.5. Slight under. 8:30 Southland first round. McNeese, Northwestern State. My projection is Northwestern State by 3/8, total of 154 and 1/20. And it's McNeese by 1.5, total 153.5. Give me Northwestern State plus 1.5 and plus 105 to win outright. MEAC quarterfinal, Coppin State Howard. My projection is Howard by 6, total 144 and 3/5. And it's 6 and 149.5. Under. Minnesota Penn State, 8:30 Big Ten Network, Big Ten first round. My projection is Penn State by an eighth, total of 133 and 11/20. And it's 3.5 and 125.5. Way over. 9 o'clock Conference USA second round. Old Dominion and UTEP. My projection for this one is UTEP by 2 and an eighth, total 132 and 1/5. And it's 1.5 and 127. Over. Pac-12 first one, Cal Wazoo, Pac-12 Network. My projection is Wazoo by 7, total 133 and 9/20. And it's 8 and 125. Over. WAC second round, Cal Baptist, Sam Houston. My projection is Cal Baptist by 1 and 8, total 135 and 3/20. And it is, let's see, 2 and 130. Over. Southern Miss FAU, Conference USA second round, 9:30. My projection is FAU by 10.5, total 140 and 2/5. And let's see here. Southern Miss and FAU. 14.5 and 136. I'm going to go with the over. Prairie View Alcorn SWAC quarterfinal. My projection is Prairie View by 1 and a quarter, total 142 and a fifth. And it's Alcorn by 1, total 139. I like the over. I do like Prairie View as well. ESPN 2, ACC second round, Louisville, Virginia. My projection is Virginia by 1 and an eighth, total 131 and 3/10. It's 5.5 and 122.5. Over. Fairfield, St. Peter's, MAC quarterfinal. My projection is St. Peter's by 6 and 5/8, total of 130 and 4/5. And it's 3.5, and we don't have a total yet. So I'm going to lay the points with St. Peter's. Fox Sports 1 Big East first round, Georgetown, Seton Hall. My projection is Hall by 14 and 5/8, total of 144 and 7/20. And it's 10 and 144. I'm going to lay the 10 with Seton Hall. 11:30 Pac-12 Network. Pac-12 first round, Utah and Washington. My projection is Washington by 3 and an 8, total 141 and 7/10. And it's 1.5 and 141.5. Slight Washington. And last but not least, WAC second round, Utah Valley, Abilene Christian. My projection is Christian by 1.5, total 131 and a 10th. And it's 1 and 132.5. Over. All right, so there you have it for college basketball. Now we'll move on to the NBA. We'll recap the games from last night and look ahead to the games being played tonight. Nets over the Hornets 132-121. Cavs over the Pacers 127-124. Suns over the Magic 102-99. Grizz over the Pelicans 132-111. Bucks over the Thunder 142-115. And the Warriors over the Clippers 112-97. All right, big window tonight. 7 o'clock, Celtics Hornets. Projection, Celtics 1.5, total 213 and 7/20. And it is 7 and 227.5. Another under. Oh my god, wait, I don't even know if that projected total is supposed to be correct or not. Let's see. I don't even think that's right. I knew that wasn't right. The projection is 231 and 7/20. That's better. All right, give me Charlotte getting the points, even though they don't have Hayward. Bulls Pistons. My projection here is Bulls 6.5, total 227.5, and it's 5.5 and 228. Slight Bulls. On ESPN at 7:30, Suns Heat from Miami. My projection is Heat by 3 3/4, total 219. And it's 7 and 220. I'm taking the Suns getting 7. I think Booker's back tonight. 8 o'clock, Hawks Bucks. Projection, Bucks 7.5, total 241.5. And it's 5 and 238.5. Over. Lakers Rockets. This is the most interesting projection I have. I have Rockets 1 and 3/4, total 231 and 85/100. And it's 5 and 234. Give me the Rockets getting 5 and plus 172 outright. Thunder Timberwolves. Projection, Wolves by 17.25, total 235 and 4/5. And it's 14.5 and 230. Over. Magic Pelicans. My projection is New Orleans by 8 3/4, total 224 and 7/20. And it's 9 and 221. The total literally just moved. But I still like the over. Knicks Mavs. Projection, Mavs 10.5, total 226 and 7/10. And it's 8.5 and 215.5. Over. Raptors Spurs. My projection is San Antonio by 1/4, total 218. And it's Toronto 1.5, total 230. Under. 10 o'clock ESPN, Blazers Jazz. My projection is Utah 22, total 219 and 65/100. And it's 17 and 222. Playing the points with the Jazz. Nuggets Kings. My projection is Nuggets by 5, total 239 and 19/20. And it is 5 and 240. Very close. The slightest of unders is the pick. And 10:30, the Wizards at the Clippers. My projection is Washington by 3.5, total 229.5. And it's Clippers 4.5, total 218. Give me the Wiz plus 4.5 and plus 172 to win this game outright, led by new acquisition Kristaps Porzingis. All right, now move on to hockey. We'll recap the games from last night and look ahead to tonight's games in each sport. Or I should say look ahead to tonight's games in the NHL. Wild over the Rangers 5-2, Devils over the Avs 5-3, Flyers over the Golden Knights 2-1, Panthers over the Penguins 4-3, Leafs over the Kraken 6-4, Coyotes over the Red Wings 9-2, Sens over the Blues 4-1, Preds over the Stars 2-1, Jets over the Bolts 7-4, Blackhawks over the Ducks 8-3, and the Caps over the Flames 5-4. Only 2 games tonight, both on TNT. The first one is Capitals Oilers. That should be a fun game. Oilers minus 125, Caps 104, over under 6.5, overs even money, unders minus 122, Caps plus 1.5 is minus 250, Edmonton minus 1.5 is plus 198, over. And the latter half of the TNT doubleheader, Canucks hosting the Canadiens. That's not a great game. Canucks minus 215, Canadiens plus 176, over under 6.5, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Habs plus 1.5 is minus 138, Canucks minus 1.5 is plus 112. This is a tough one here. The Canucks, where things stand right now, are 5 back of Dallas of the last playoff spot, with a couple teams to pass. But I do like the over in this game. I think there's going to be goals scored in this game. So over 6.5 at minus 104. All right, now move on to golf. We'll go over the tee times and give out a pick for the Players' Championship. So 6:45 tee times. Adam Schenk, Lucas Hodges, Brian Harman, Russell Knox, Kramer Hickok, and Beau Hossler. 6:56, Harold Varner III, Walter Zalatoris, Kyle Stanley, Tyler Fleetwood, Charlie Hoffman. 7:07, Doc Redmond, Mito Pereira, Aaron Wise, Kevin Streelman, Roger Sloan, Maverick McNeely. I'm just going to go through notables because of time restrictions. 7:18, Richie Werenski, Sanjay M, Webb Simpson, Tony Finau, Patrick Reed. 7:29, Cam Champ, Louis Holton, Sergio Garcia, Adam Scott, Matt Jones. 7:40, Joaquin Neiman, Evan Van Rooyen, Ryan Palmer, Hideki Matsuyama, Cam Smith. 7:51, John Rahm, Victor Hovland, Patrick Cantlay, Kitty Tway, Kanguli, Adam Long. 8:02, Abraham Ancer, Sebastian Munoz, Sam Burns, Paul Casey, Dylan Fratelli. 8:13, Joel Dahman, Taylor Hogue, Corey Connors, Brent Snecker, Brendan Gay, Tyrell Hatton. 8:24, Lucas Griffin, Matt Wolf, Keith Mitchell, Shane Lowry, Gary Woodland, and Lucas Glover. 8:35, Alex Noren, Ian Poulter, Jonathan Vegas, Pat Perez. 8:46, Henrik Norlander, Nate Watney, Sam Piercy. 11:50, so this is the second session. Brandon Higgy, Henry Higgs, Lee Westwood, Chris Kirk, Brock Stewart, Matt Fitzpatrick. 12:01, Matt Wallace, Cam Young, Sam Ryder, Cam Triangle, Keegan Bradley, Adam Putnam. 12:12, JJ Spawn, Ryan Henley, James Hahn, Mackenzie Hughes, Jason Hadley. 12:23, Taylor Gooch, Kevin Kisner, Jason Day, Jason Kokrak, Hudson Swafford. 12:34, Daniel Berger, Carlos Ortiz, Cam Davis, Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, Brendan Grace. 12:45, Xander Schauffele, Seb Straka, Scotty Scheffler, Bubba Watson, Brooks Koepka. 12:56, Colin Marico, Lucas Herbert, Justin Thomas, Chaz Reed, Rory McIlroy, Brendan Todd. 107, Pat Gazier, CT Pond, Justin Rose, Max Homa, Stuart Sink, Brett Horschel. 118, JT Potson, Taylor Moore, Seamus Power, Mark Leishman, Luke List, and Zach Johnson. 129, Cy Woo Kim, Bryce Garnett, Danny Lee, Matt Kuchar, Adam Hadwin. 140, Doug Ginn, Dylan McCarthy, Tyson McCumber, Charles Schwartzel, Torrey Merritt, Scott Stallings. 151, Matthew Neesmith, Brendan Steele, Emiliano Grillo. And that's it among the tee times. All right, so my pick to win the Players' Championship, I'm going to go with a pretty long shot. I'm going to go with DJ, Dustin Johnson, at 36-1 to win the Players' Championship. I think this is a good spot for Johnson, and I think that he will come through here. I've won on him before, and I think that he can absolutely do it again. So I'm going to go Dustin Johnson, 36-1 to win the Players' Championship. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. Best bet was a loser last night by a half point because I had St. Mary's. Gonzaga backdoored me, and I lost the bet. My CAA Delaware pick came through, so that was a good one for me. But today's best bet is going to reside in the NBA. And I'm going to grab the 4 points with the Washington Wiz against the Clippers. Actually, no, take that back. I keep forgetting to account for Bradley Beal's absence with the Wiz. I need to account that in these projections. Now I just have the Wizards as a 1-point favorite. But I still like the NBA for best bet potential. And I'm going to take... I want to take the Suns against the Heat, but I couldn't do it. I just really didn't like any college basketball things on the board. God, that'd be funny if I took the Rockets. Wouldn't that be hilarious if I took the Rockets? I'm going to go with the under 230 in the Raptors-Spurs game is my best bet. I just think that it's a lower scoring game than you think. The Raptors are missing some players, so I'm going under 230, laying a unit on it between the Raptors and the Spurs for my best bet of the day. All right, so there you have it. I'll be back tomorrow recapping the sports and looking ahead to tomorrow, recapping Masked Singer, news and notes, and best bet. And stay tuned. I'm going to have 2 more conference tournament preview and prediction shows tonight, the Mid-American and the American tonight. So that should be fun. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.